Hey guys, this is another episode of Messages from God. And I have a question for you. Do you like the rain? Because it's raining. Yeah, it's pouring. The fact it's pouring so much, how could you not like the rain? Just random thing to mention. Okay, so last week you saw The Choice. Because it mentioned in the Bible and, of course, The Matrix. You have to either choose one or the other in order to truly live for God. And granted, last week, again, slightly a little summary, because once you live for God, are things going to get easier? No. But I will say this. Things will get hard. Stay tuned for everything you can, not just to defeat you, but that you wouldn't bring others. So that you would bring others to God. And that is one of Satan's biggest goals. Make sure that you don't bring others to God and that you won't come to God. And yes. So today, we're going to be talking about the freaks. Yeah, I said freaks. Not the Psycho Ward freaks, not the candy freaks, not the boy band freaks, not the Justin Bieber freaks, not even the Star Wars, Star Trek, Nerd War freaks. But if you want to talk about Star Wars, that will happen soon. But no, we are talking about the Jesus freaks. Yeah, I said it. And here's the question. Why would people call us Jesus freaks? Here's an answer question for that. Why aren't more people called that? Okay. We're going to talk about a movie so popular, so demanding, is that it's going to make you pop. Okay, so have you ever heard of the movie I, Robot? I'm pretty sure at least one of you just said yes. Hope so. I'm going to spoil the movie for you. Okay, in the movie, I'm going to, spoil. In the movie, you are Will Smith's the main character. And at some point in the movie, he is driving on the road, and he's this one girl that he ends up meeting wants to be a dentist. Yes, I said a dentist. So, but beside the point, they end up trying to drown. And only one of them, and both are gonna die, none are able to escape, but one of them is saved by a robot. And eventually decide about which one was saved. Sadly to say, it was not the girl, but it was Will Smith. And he was saved. He was given a robotic arm because his arm was broken. But he was fixed by a scientist who saved him, who was able to give him a new life. Yes, a new life. But ever since, he did not trust the robots. No. He did not trust the robots at all. Is that he became paranoid. So paranoid that people would be considering him a freak because he is the only human that did not trust the robots, because everyone had a robot. It's like all of us having an iPod, all of us have a TV, all of us having a life. And when I mean by life, I mean just living in general. Point being though, is that so eventually in the movie, the scientist dies. by something. And then he realizes that the robots must be responsible. But again, he's the only one, and his job as a policeman, a chief detective, let's say. He's the only one that believes him. So he's the only one continuing this trace of clues, trying to figure out who did this and why. So eventually, finds out again the robots are behind this, and again, no one believes him. So he ends up finding breadcrumbs that leads to eventually finding out that the scientist accidentally, well, it wasn't accidentally, he created this robot, this program, to be so powerful to control so many things. Of course, the program was not better than the scientist, but pretty much he created it to be used for a lot of things, and that's kind of what I could say. But eventually, the program learns that it wants to control everything, it keeps things safe for itself. So, it uses all the robots pretty much in the world to take over the world. And again, does no one believe this would happen? No, except Will Smith. And he eventually leads the breadcrumbs back to the place. One of the robots ended up helping him because it decided to go against the will of the machine and will program. And eventually, they save the world. Okay. Now, let's just take that movie and put it to our lives connecting to the Bible. Okay, we're all doing well, we're doing whatever, but eventually we end up getting into an accident, we end up getting into turmoil, trouble, you name it. And then somebody comes to you. Someone ends up bringing the word to you. Maybe it was a message through a computer. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was a random dude. Maybe it was even God. The point being that maybe some dude comes to you and brings you the word. In that moment, you realize it was true. You realize what you need. So, the moment you heard it, you accepted the truth. You have just gained a new life in Christ. You just entered God's family. You became one of God's sons right there. Which is, by the way, it's freaking awesome. Pretty much just saying it's awesome, it's cool. So many words, can't even describe that feeling. I still can't. I've been like, okay, forget that. So, that's the case. And of course, if you have a Bible, you realize that God's telling us that He will return one day. And when He returns, He's going to bring the people that have came to accept Christ in Him, right? But that's not the better news, is a little later on. But I'll tell you the bad news for the in-between. For those who don't accept God, those who have not accepted Him into a heart and truly believed and followed Him, those people, it's sad to say, were left behind. And the program, like in that movie, in this world, is Satan. God created Satan, but Satan wanted more. He wanted to be God. So he decided to rebel against God. And then God sent him away. But you see, when you're sent away by your mom, do you usually come back to wreak more trouble, or do you usually just, okay, whatever? Well, he was the rebelling. He wanted that control stuff. And he wasn't going to stop. So now, he's made this world so confused that he don't remember what God has told them. They have sin now. And for those, A, this is true out. You could bash on what I say, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because it is true. As long as we have sin, we're able to be used by Satan for his evil plans, for his turmoil. Because for those who do not come to know God, for those who have not accepted God, they're going to endure, what happens in Revelations for those who don't come to know God. But of course there's a side flip to that as well. You're still able to come to know God, but that comes to a later events. But the point that I'm getting to is the before factor. You see, thing is that like Will Smith in iRobot, he believed what the scientists said, that this program was evil and that he wanted to pretty much rule the world. He believed that. And like us, we believe in God, we believe in what he says. And what he says, well, so true. And this is the thing. Because flat out, just saying it, better now than it is later. Because you really don't want to experience the first few years of Revelations. You really, really don't want to. But again, I'm going to get to a verse that sticks out to me right now. So, wait a few seconds. Okay, like I was saying, verse, scripture, Romans chapter 6, verses 3. We know that our old sinful selves were crucified with Christ, so that we might lose its power in our lives. We are no longer slaves to sin. But here's the rub. We are no longer slaves to sin, but here's the thing. If you don't know why, then you're pretty much going to act like you're a slave. So imagine this. You're in a prison, but the door's open, but you believe that door is closed. You believe that it's locked because you believe that nothing's ever going to get better and that your life is worthless. So one day God comes in and tells you that your life isn't worthless, that it's worth so much more than you give it credit to. And that God says that that door is open. If you believe that door is open, you will be in freedom. You will finally enter paradise. And again, wait for this. Here's another good one. And again, therefore, dear brothers and sisters, you have no obligation to do what your sinful natures urge you to do. So, with this, just because everyone is saying that you're a freak or you don't know any good because whatever you want to say, I don't know how to finish that. Pretty much just saying is that like Will Smith, we as Christians, we as followers of God, we as sons and daughters of God, we are going to be called freaks. We're going to be called Jesus freaks. We're going to be the weird ones. We're going to be the outcasts just because we believe that God has a plan and that he loves us. It's weird that people are going to call us that for these reasons and more, but hey, I prefer to be called a freak than to endure hell on earth. So, fellow Jesus freaks, fellow brothers, sisters, Christians, whoever you want to say it. Here's the thing. God has a plan. And grant that I accept that. And He has a plan for you. One specifically for you. But no one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. Money, the love of money, and the love of money comes from sin, and sin comes from Satan. Here's the thing. You can either be, because you can't blend in. Because blending in is trying to act like the world, and the world is of Satan. Being considered for God, you're going to be called freak. You're going to be called weird. You're going to be the hated one. And a lot of times, a lot of people are just going to kind of shoo you out. The point being that doesn't even matter they do. Because God is going to take care of the situation. He's going to be there for you. He's going to help you through it all. So here's the question. And here's the true question that I have for you. Are you willing to serve Satan and live a life that is never going to be as good as it is with God and never truly live and be called cool? Or do you want to live for God? That you will always be loved, always be taken care of. Doesn't mean everything's going to be good all the time. And be known pretty much as a Jesus freak that lives in paradise with God forever. And that is the truth. So here's the question with that. You want to live by the world standards, or do you want to live by God? By God, you're going to be called a freak. World, well, it doesn't even matter because you're going to suffer in the world. So and that is the question for you. And like the rain, how it's keep on raining today. Unlike the rain in Texas, God reigns forever. Hope you have a blessed day, and hope you come back next week. Laters!